we as law enforcement, I'm speaking on behalf of every cop out there, I think that is just so appreciative. If they get to know you and your mission, and they're wearing a blue uniform, they're going to appreciate what you're trying to do. Tiz, I love that intro music there. I get excited every time I see your head bobbing over there. I know we're going to have a good show because you got the rhythm working.
It's all there, sir.
Good to have you back. A little COVID got you, huh?
Hey, COVID tried to bring me down like I told you. I'm tougher than that, brother.
Yeah. You ain't bringing the Steelers Nation down.
Oh, you can't, man. My wife would probably tell you different. I was kind of crying a little bit, but I'm fine.
Oh, good. If she could send any pictures to the office, I'd appreciate it. You in the fetal position crying. That'd be great. But hey, episode number 95, Tiz.
I know.
Think
I
about
seen
this. And we got a rock star with us. We got a lady that's all over the community. Karen, great to have you back. Primetime585. I love it. You motivate me. You motivate me.
Thank you.
It's amazing what you can do with a mission. It's amazing what you can do with a calling. A social media platform, it changes the world, really, for a positive. You know, we talk a lot about social media, but Karen, just welcome back. We've had you here, I don't know how many eepisodes ago, and now we got some bling. We added some videos and stuff, and we thought we'd get you back on and share what you're doing.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Y'all up y'all game.
Up the game, huh?
Okay, so I don't know where y'all get this funding
It's
from.
all about
Primetime needs some funding to do all of this.
Like I said,
y'all fancy.
what is ours is yours. And your mission, what 585 is doing, is utterly incredible. And,
Thank you.
And it started, if you will, just maybe half a step back. You know, it seems like forever ago when we started having conversations at Aquinas and getting people in the communities.
It wasn't that long ago,
right?
Yeah.
A little bit about 585 then, if you will. And
the goal was to utilize sports as a bridge to talk about the tough topics, right? The popularity of sports. And in saying that, let's say Damar Hamlin. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to remember that we're fragile. Mm-hmm. We're very fragile. So we see these tough kids with helmets and all of that, but we have to remember after what happened last night, the fragility of it all, right? So we want to send out some prayers for this young man, and not only that, his mom was there.
Yeah.
I'm the mother of an athlete.
Yeah.
That's 22, right? Could you imagine what she was going through?
No, watching that, being stuck in the stands, trying to get to the ambulance, not know if the ambulance is going to wait. I mean, just the emotions that we all watched last night was just, the mind wouldn't go to sleep last night. It couldn't go to sleep.
But what's important, a nation came together.
Amen. Yeah.
What I saw, it gives me faith back in humanity.
Right.
Because not only did a city come together, not only did football teams come together, but all the different sports.
Yeah.
From race car drivers to basketball. Yeah. But a nation came together, and it was because of sports.
Right.
And that's what Primetime is. We are a strong believer that sports can bring people together. So we use sports as that bridge. But we talk about mental health. We talk about the relationship between law enforcement and the community, and ours is a little bit different. You know, and I've worked with Todd. Like, the goal is to bring people to the table, to bring the sheriffs to the table, the deputy to the table, the troopers to a table with the young adults to have that conversation. I can't say what it's like to be a young black male pulled over at 17 or 18. I'm a middle-aged Penfield resident. Mm-hmm. So it affects me a little bit differently. Sure. But it's important for us to bring people to the table. So the law enforcement trust us, and the kids trust us. So we just serve as that bridge. And we use sports to do that. So that's how we really started. And it took off. I mean, we fed 4,200 people at Thanksgiving. Teams did that.
Think about that. Yeah.
Teams, 87 teams, from basketball to football, swimming, tennis, adopted families. But it's not just, here's a turkey.
Right.
They went shopping together as a team.
Relationship,
and they knocked on those doors. Amen. And they deliver the food, because it's important for people to see how other people live. Mm-hmm. You can't talk poverty.
Yeah.
You can't talk about race.
Right.
People are afraid to talk about these things, right? Oh, we can't talk poverty. Yes, you can. Because poverty is the root of a lot of the stuff. So the athletes going and knocking on the door on Jefferson Avenue
Right.
and from Victor and knocking on that door and seeing that these people are just like me,
Yeah.
it's just the only difference is your zip code.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
The zip code. Your zip code should not dictate anything, but it does. So it's not what we do. It's important to how we do it. We want people to be able to tune into our page and see positivity. For kids to see the importance of just being positive. So we don't post anything negative. We don't try to embarrass kids. I mean, sometimes we do go there, right? We have to go there with some things. We have to discuss certain things.
Right.
I don't consider that being negative. I consider the platform as being real.
Right.
And there's a difference, right? So we consider that of being real.
So that platform, I always think about starting a business. You need a niche. You need to fill a gap, right? If you can't just make something and no one wants it. So you filled a unique niche, and I don't know how it came about. That's when I'm a bit confused. I've known you for a couple of years, but you use sports. There was obviously a relationship issue going on, and still is. We can always improve that with young people and all law enforcement, and you knew people, and you got this awesome dynamic social media platform and personality now, and those all kind of came together in my world. Sitting back, just knowing you from afar. Yeah, watching it. How's this feel?
It's a social experiment.
Yeah,
actually.
yes, that's what it's unique. It's unique, and that was my point. Is you got such a unique thing working here that it's filling that gap. There's a niche for it, but it's also the uniqueness of it. I think that scares some people. Some people get very nervous around you.
A lot.
Right? And they start
People are afraid of my Twitter hands.
I tried to retweet one of your things the other day, and I couldn't retweet it. I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, what happened? She blocked me or what?
No, I had to go private.
Yes, I was dumbfounded. Mary was telling me. My bride was telling me about these.
I get a lot
amazing.
I get
people get nervous about the truth sometimes.
I was getting a lot of death threats.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was, but because I live tweet from games,
Right.
My law enforcement friends, I got a lot of them. One is on my board, says for a few months, because you could come out of a game and somebody know exactly where you are.
Right.
So the goal was for the safety of myself and my students.
What a world.
Like, to the point where I had to go private because I live tweet so much. If I go to a game and those people would know exactly where I'm at, they'll come out, something could happen. But people are scared of the fact that they feel like I hold influence over kids. And I told you, Bob Duffy said it best. I still use that quote. He said, Karen and her army of kids, her social media army of kids, one tweet and those kids, okay, we need to feed people. We need coats.
Right, yeah.
We need this.
Yeah.
And that scares people. They feel that that's too much
It
power.
motivates the hell out of me. It really does. When I see young people willing to step up to the plate and get engaged in community activities, this is our future. You're building the future, let alone bridging in your logo. We talked off the air about that bridge that's in that logo.
Oh, yeah.
Bridging with us and those young kids. It's a great niche, and it's motivating for us in law enforcement to sit back and watch what you're doing with young people, because that's our future. It's our future in law enforcement. Hopefully, a lot of these people end up being cops.
But not only that,
we pray
Todd,
that, but
some of these people, some of these kids are going to be adults in a couple of years.
yeah.
In less than 10 years, some of them are going to be sitting in
Look at the
boardrooms.
picture.
They're going to be making decisions.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And if I could show them that this person, this young, you're seeing the violence in the city, right? So the kids in Pittsford are just seeing that black kids are violent.
Right.
That's the message that's being sent. So my message is, if you go and see that there's only a few of them being violent, they're not all violent, right? So the goal is to change the narrative, but it's also important for the people that's also being helped to understand that there are good people out there. So that's the bridge that we hold. And some people, as I said, they said, Karen, you're trying to humanize cops that hate black people. And I get a lot of threats on that too. Why you're humanizing them by having them do these things? And I'm sitting here like, but just because they're wearing the uniform, it's just a uniform. There are bad people in every single profession. So people, for whatever reason, with police, they put them all in the same basket more than any other profession.
Yeah.
And what I try to tell kids, as young adults, is you got to look at people for who they are. And that's sometimes some of the threats I get. Like, I get it from all different sides, right? People that don't like law enforcement they have a problem with me and my relationship with law enforcement, and they're very passionate about that, right?
Right.
And then there's people that don't like a black woman, around their white kids all the time. So it's come from everywhere, but you can't buckle. So the vitriol I get makes me know I'm doing something.
Yeah.
That's how I look
That's
at
called
it.
a clue. In police work, we call that a clue. You're
it's a
being
clue?
effective. You're being effective.
That's what it's called.
You're being effective,
And
right? They wouldn't be yelling and screaming if you weren't being effective.
And somebody said to me, just buy more glue. Like, buy more glue. And I'm going to put that on my logo now, buy more glue. Because if you're making differences, that means that you should get more glue because you're making differences. And not everybody's going to like what we do or how we do it.
Right.
But the goal is you don't have to like me, but you have to respect my grind.
Yeah, and I love the fact of Primetime585, the way that, you heard the things out there where they will say, you know what, just shut up and play basketball. Shut up and play football. This brings it beyond that to where you're teaching these individuals, you know what, you're taking them out there and they're feeding families, bringing that other side. Bridge, like you said, bridge, I love that, the way you brought in the bridging that gap of the different zip codes and things like that. What gets me is the fact that program should be more recognized. The Primetime 585.
Get me started.
Speaking with her offline, she's a little testy about this.
Right.
But,
A little?
Well, yeah, we look for. I'm a realist, and I want things that really work. I'm not wasting my time, energy, money, talent, whatever I have to give on things that are irrelevant. And I'm 57 years old. Those days are long behind me, right? Let's do things that are relevant. You're relevant. You're relevant now. And my mission is public safety. You're saving lives. You're saving young men's lives. There's no doubt in my mind. My other mission is community relations. You're helping, right? You're relevant. There's so many things here that are relevant, and the fact that we're not supporting more.
Yeah.
And so I just want to put that plug in right now. We're going to do a cheap commercial. Support Primetime 585. They're saving lives. They're saving young men, young women. They're saving the relationship with law enforcement. You're feeding people,
Right.
And this is intentional. Not just feeding people, that needs to be done, but intentional building those relationships that are almost impossible unless you're not intensely intentional about it and you're doing it. So we love what you're doing. We champion. We as law enforcement. I'm speaking on behalf of every cop out there. I think that is just so appreciative. If they get to know you and your mission, and they're wearing a blue uniform, they're going to appreciate what you're trying to do. And that's bridge that gap. We all want that. We're community based.
Tired of the violence,
And,
though.
yeah.
You know what, Todd? It's like, it's not just that. It's for you guys. So, like, when we do, like, basketball camps, we say, well, why are you bringing, you guys are very supportive. You send deputies to every event that we have. Because I wanted young kids to older ones to see you guys, like, look at these kind of things, right? To see you guys beyond the uniform, right?
Right,
That's
right.
important.
This
So
is
these
one of
are
our law
cops.
enforcement officers,
Yeah.
the deputy right there on the left. I'm just going to mention may win this competition.
but doing this, that's building a relationship, right?
correct.
Where, to me, how I look at this is, I look at Primetime as educating.
Yep.
Like, we are educating folks, not just about law enforcement, but the safety that. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. So everybody knows me, and I've not crumbled under this. I have a big thing about bail reform, right? I don't think that you should stay in jail for some weed. But in the last few months, we have girls stealing cars, right? Like we have girls. Like, to me, okay, this sounds like misogyny, right? So you're like, so it's okay for boys to steal car? I'm not saying that. But once you start losing our girls, that tells you what we need to know, right? So I have a problem with people that says you are too pro law enforcement. No, I want to be I want my grandmother to go to Grease Mall
Right.
at the age of 84, go to Marshall's,
Not have to worry.
and not have to worry.
Yes.
I have a stake in this. I want my 22-year-old son to be able to go somewhere when he comes home from college. So I have selfish reasons
Sure.
No, of
also,
course.
right? So I feel like we're having the things that kids need is taken away from them because of the violence, because of that. And then guess what?
Yeah.
Idle time is the devil's playground.
Absolutely. Yeah, nothing
That's
scared
why
of.
I'm a huge
A bored
proponent.
teenager scares the heck right out of me.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Born,
Yeah.
and it should,
Yeah.
especially as a law enforcement
Yeah.
official. Like, it was funny because last Monday, somebody tweeted, or somebody on Facebook says, come get your kids from Greenridge Mall. Come get your kids. They're out here acting a fool. Do I blame the kids? Actually not. What I blame is the lack of things for the kids to do, because it was taken away because of the few that act a fool.
Yeah, and we got to address those few, right? We don't need to address on
Absolutely.
mass incarceration and weed, but we also have to have common sense in our laws when we're creating these. So you're going to legalize marijuana, which I think everybody says, okay, right? That's good. But you haven't opened up a store yet, right?
Right.
So where is everybody getting their
Right,
marijuana? And it's causing chaos in our environment. It really is. So all I'm saying is slow down once in a while, talk to end users. You're an end user. I'm an end user of these laws. Talk to the district attorney, talk to the public defender, talk to the ACLU. I don't care. And then create these laws that are comprehensive, well thought out, as opposed to emotional. And it's like, let's just legalize marijuana and be the first, second, third
But
state.
how do you let somebody out of jail that was caught with a gun,
Right.
or carjack
No,
a
you
person?
can't. You at least got to detain them long, especially in an environment that we're living in right now that has an out of control gun violence problem, right?
Yeah,
Where the
it does.
130% increase over the last over the last 10-year average. I'm looking at them right now, reckless and dangerous. We're not even measuring things like shots in houses when we're reporting crime. We do. Right. And I get yelled at like you do. Like, why are you talking about that? Crime is down. I'm like, crime is down unless you live on Clinton Avenue.
Yeah.
And your grandmother's
Right,
house got
right.
shot up, right?
Right.
And that number is spiking off the roof, but we don't report those on the news. So you got me excited now. I'm just as motivated. We could do both. That's all I keep on saying. We can protect the tenets of these reforms, right? Not just lock up young African-American males because they don't have $50 yet. Some kid from Pittsburgh does the same crime. But also, if you're rich, you shouldn't get away with bail out for rape, right? Whether you're rich
I
or poor,
agree.
right? We should look at the individuals. If you have a gun right now in Rochester, New York, and it's illegal, you should be detained for a couple hours at least. Let's figure out what's going on in your life, right? So we can keep you safe, let alone the rest of the community safe, because you're carrying a gun for a reason. Are you a gangbanger that just wants to shoot up the neighborhood? Or are you really fearful because your grandmother's house got shut up and you're trying to protect grandma? Either way, it's illegal, but we can't even have those conversations. People
Because
get
they've
threatened
taken
by
that-
the conversation,
They've
right?
taken that away
Yeah.
from law enforcement officials. And people say, well, Karen, how could you not support that? I said, because first of all, I got common damn sense. Second of all, I myself want to go and be safe, right? Like I myself want to, like before, in the last year and a half, I could go anywhere in the city. Up
Right.
until a year and a half ago, I would go anywhere in the city, no problems, no matter what, because I had a mantra. I'm not going to be afraid of my own folks, especially
Right,
young
right.
black males.
Right.
I'm not going to buy into that. But after about a year, I got to move different. Like if I'm on Dewey, listen, if I'm at a stoplight, I'm looking both ways. That's how I live. I'm literally rolling through stop signs in the city. If I'm on Clinton, I ain't stopping. Y'all just gonna have to pull me over because that's where they're carjacking people.
Yeah,
Like you,
yeah.
I have a kid now. He tells me we don't go downstairs because so much shooting happened on his street. They all stay on the second floor
Wow.
of the house, and when they come downstairs, all the windows are blacked out.
I get so frustrated. Just you hear this testimony all the time, and you're so real, Karen. Thank you for sharing it, because when I say it, and I'm not here to woe me or anything, but we wear a blue uniform, people think different when I'm talking like this, right?
It's true though.
But it's true. It's absolutely true. And you need to leave your pedestals wherever you are and walk down here and visit people and hang out with people. We have a city, a council member for the county. Her car was shot up on Clinton Avenue,
I know.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the outrage and the frustration? Are we serious?
Are we just
Are we
not
serious?
used to it? Like
This is
nobody
gonna-
like, oh, that's
It's
all.
not on my
she didn't
watch,
get
not
hit.
on your watch, not on my watch. This is not going to become our norm. This is not going to become our culture, and these are what we're going to accept as our norm. Not in a million years. I got a grandmother that's having her grandkids sleep under beds because
I
she's
believe
scared
it.
about them stray rounds coming through. Even if it's statistically no causability and correlation, causation. I get yelled at about all these statistic terms. Look at, you can use all the stats you want, but you can also walk down and see people living in fear, and that's not right. And if we can just tweak a few things to keep people safer, right? You got a gun right now in Rochester, you should be detained. You should be detained. And it's just common sense, like you said
I agree.
earlier.
And
If you're going box store to box store to box store and just keep on ripping stuff off and with shopping carts, They're not walking out with an under jacket. They're walking. You should be detained to figure out what the hell's going on in your life, let alone the rest of us have got to pay for that.
Because we have to pay.
We got to
people
pay,
don't
right?
understand. People that go, well, guess what? They got
Yeah,
insurance,
Walmart's going to eat that?
all of that
Oh,
stuff.
no, they're not.
I said they're not going to. They're passing it down to me
They're in the business.
and you.
Of course
Yep.
they are.
And that's what people don't understand. So when I talk about the importance of sports, it's not only keeping kids busy. That's a big thing for me. So
Yeah.
during this break, the Christmas break, we utilize funds that we got to send some kids to Tyler Ralph and Jack Leisure basketball camp, because these are city kids. Not only are they good athletes, and they couldn't afford the money to do that. Right. Just get them just try to get them something to do. They don't have to play sports for what we designed. We just wanted to get them something to do, because if they're not doing something and they're not in school, two things. First of all, they're hungry.
Yep.
People don't understand poverty. During February break, during April break, during Christmas break, those are the times that kids are most hungry, because sometimes the best meal they get is when they're in school.
Right.
So when they're not in school, sometimes they don't eat. So people don't think about that. So we were incorporating food and snacks in that, getting kids. But not only that, I'll give you an example. Next week, Friday, we're taking 25 kids to Niagara University.
Purple Eagles.
Yeah, right. So, and what we're doing is a little bit different. So we're taking all of them are city kids.
Right.
They just need something. We wanted to show them what college is like.
Right.
We want to show them we're going to take them to the basketball game, see Siena versus Niagara,
Oh, big
electric.
rivalry. Big rivalry.
Yeah, an electric setting, right?
Right.
And they're seeing. So the goal is for these kids that were caught. Some of them have been caught with guns.
Mm-hmm.
They've carjacked, and people are like this. But why would you take them on a college tour? Why? They're not college material. Who says that? Who decided that they were college material? They just don't know, because they can't see the future. They can't see beyond Jefferson Avenue.
Yeah, 2 blocks, 3 blocks.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to
You
show
have to
them.
be intentional about it.
And guess who's coming on the trip with me? Sandra Doran.
Wow.
Sandra is
Good.
coming, because
Yeah.
that's bridging the gap,
Yeah.
right? That is standing in the gap. Sandra, we're taking 25 kids to Niagara. Your husband is a Niagara grad and was on the board. And we're going to a basketball game. Y'all need to come.
Amen.
You know, she said, you're right. Because now the kids could interact with the highest ranking official, and she could interact with them.
Wow.
It is. We got to get busy. Let me, last thing on the bridging, if you will. This show is going to go over, Mateo, if you don't realize it, because this is powerful stuff. Last night's incident, Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati, the prayer group that formed around, as the ambulance was leaving, as you said, the nation praying last night, the nation concerned. I said you filled a niche a few years ago, right? You started building this thing, and last night that niche was illustrated by how sports can be that bridge, right?
It really can.
So that travesty. It's a great picture.
24.
And we all dealt with it, right? We dealt with the mom. We dealt with in different ways.
We felt it.
Absolutely. And you were able to take that bridge a long time ago and say there's something here with sports, with law enforcement, with kids that are idle. There's so much good to be done here, and it's amazing. I went to camps. You don't even know it. My son played a little basketball, and I was at camps, and I watched your husband coach, young kids, and some might be in the NBA right now. And
Isaiah
yeah.
Yep.
You still got a cell phone?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that young man. Come on, man, get
exactly.
your own cell phone. But I watched your husband. And I seen something unique even back then. I was out in Irondequoit and watching, and I didn't know what I was seeing. I was just watching from afar from some kid that wasn't going to make it anywhere in basketball. I just love to play the sport. And so even you're unique. You got a niche. We love you. Your family is so awesome, and your husband just the unsung hero sometimes. And I watched him years ago. He's in the background. But what he's doing is profound. And I'm just trying to
no idea.
with a lack of consistent words here. I'm just saying I noticed that years ago watching him coach. And he had some great talent. That's awesome. Anybody can coach great talent almost, right? But he was also coaching people that didn't have so much talent.
You know what? He's passionate about, and people say, well, how did you get into this? I said, we're a sports family. You know, George was a Section 5 winning coach, right? So I was always the wife that's behind the scenes. I was doing the announcement, the national anthem. I'm getting the water.
Yeah, team mom, man. That's the biggest job sometimes.
My
wife did it.
And
Oh,
team
my God.
wife.
Yeah.
So I like, if he's there, I'm there, right? Because that's how we roll. We roll tight like a family. But what people don't understand with him is the amount of lives that he has saved.
Yeah.
Right.
That the amount of seeds that he has planted, it's generational for him. Like if you see how I say to people all the time, if you go down to Monroe County, the jail, I guarantee you, if you say Coach Iglesia, I would say 1 out of 5 people in jail have heard of who he is. Right, the most respected person in Section 5, because he's just so, what you see, the humbleness, the quietness,
he's great.
He's just a nice, he's really like that. Like I wonder, like my kids, I'm glad they got their DNA from him, because Lord.
Speaking of which, Alan,
my guy.
Man.
You know Alan is
that kid's out there in a snowstorm moving stuff, and
You
he's
see that?
working. Oh, yeah, of course I do.
You know, so every people know Alan is autistic, right? And you know, he's 18 years old. He's in school full time.
Oh, good.
We've never held him back. We don't say you're autistic, so you can't do this, right? He's in school full time at MCC, majoring in like design. He does all these apps. He does all this stuff. He's brilliant, and works at Wegmans about 20 hours a week. He's in an internship with Webster Schrader. He's actually doing an internship where he helps run their sports page on social media. But that's what I'm talking about, idle time.
Yeah.
I don't even want my own son
No.
to be idle.
It's scary for anything.
No, right. So when I tell people, you have to set certain standards. Don't make excuses, right? So we know that he just learns differently. You just have to do things. He has to adapt a little bit different in the real world.
Right.
But we have to prepare him for social norms, right? Like you have to be able to do a bank account. So we brought him to the bank because we're not going to be here forever. But we have to teach them right from wrong, right? We have to do all of these things. And that's what people need to do also with their kids. You got to show them.
Yeah. And there's always opportunities. There's experts out there. We do a lot with Autism Up, and we run a little mini police academy. And we bring the kids to the experience. You know, we show them the dogs and the horses and all that. But we bring them up here. They walk the floors, right? We're actually going to hire one as an institutional helper, a kid from Autism Up, and hopefully work up here on our floor up here on the 6th floor with us. And, you know, just earn some money, right? Know the work ethic, but and it helps us too, because we deal with that community a lot, and sometimes we don't know what we're dealing with.
Now I want to ask you real quick, because I know we're real short on time. I know now. I appreciate everybody out here, you know, getting it together. But this is phenomenal. I mean, Primetime 585. What do you see the foreseeable future of for Primetime 585? Like, what direction are you gonna go, or what direction do you want to go?
So instead of just concentrating on sports, be inclusive of the artist, right? Be inclusive of the different organizations that's in each school. Our goal is to be the bridge, to be the go-to organization for young adults. Remember, young adults drive our platform. We don't. They drive what games we go to, how we cover, what we do, what we concentrate on. We utilize those statistics. Nothing is accidental. So we know exactly how many girls are watching, how many grandparents, we have an age breakdown, what area, Fairport, Pittsburgh, Penfield, all of that is broken down statistically, and we use that to drive what we do. So we get about 75,000 views a day. Our goal is to utilize the popularity of the platform to continue to teach kids about mental health. We have Matt Traybolt Week coming up February 5th. And we actually have Dr. Cypher. You know, get your shorts out. And it's just so that young adults know, we see you. That's all. It's okay.
Right.
The sun will rise tomorrow. Don't make permanent decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
The sun will always rise, right? So we try to make you might not get enough playing time. You might think your coach don't like you. The things that they ask are things that we have to remember. If social media was around when we were growing up,
God.
I know you wouldn't be a sheriff. I wouldn't be here. Lord help us all.
No.
We have to remember that, right?
Scrutinize.
Every little thing, how many people like their post, how many people like that's whether we like it or not or agree with it, it exists in their culture.
Yep.
We have to adapt to their culture. Like this, you guys have adapted.
Right.
Just putting this in a video format. People don't read.
No.
They don't read.
No.
Yeah, she did say
Picture's
that.
worth 1,000 words. A video has got to be worth
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what makes us popular because everything we do is video. So they want to. I'll take a picture. I'll post it with you, and they're like, "Oh, you're with Sheriff Baxter. What were you guys doing?"
Yeah.
They won't even read what I put up. They just see the picture.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanna be the platform to bridge with you guys. There's no other platform that exists where a Sheriff Baxter, a Sandra Dorley, a Bob Duffy, and 37,000 young adults are on the same exact. Just think about that, right?
Right.
Like, because usually you're in your own, like, law. This is a law enforcement world, right? But every single police chief follows this platform. Every single athletic director, every single superintendent, at least 10 judges follows this platform. At least 10, right? And just think about how unique that is, where you have one place where so many different people gather.
Right.
That's needed. It's important to have serious-minded conversations.
Ooh. I have to put one more plug in for you, and it's off the 585, going back to your husband, and he was ill. And if you don't mind.
Got a kidney.
And that's
19 years, Todd.
That's what I was going to. How long did he wait? And so I'm trying to plug the donors, right? And this ain't happening. Your husband would not, be healthier, let alone the worst. God bless. It's hard to even say, but donors are so important. And people got to realize that, checking a box, if you will,
we had over 70 people check boxes after that.
God bless.
Young adults, sometimes they just don't know.
Right.
Like, they just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, they called us in the middle of the night, just like on TV.
Yeah.
They didn't get me. They called my mom. They didn't get her. It was a hot mess. But they finally got us. We raced to the hospital because the kidney could only be out of the body for so long without it being damaged. And it was a 5.5-hour surgery. But after that, we really plugged organ donation.
Yes.
And over 70 young adults between the ages of 18 and 27 became organ donors specifically because because guess what? They could see it now.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
They could see it, feel it, touch it, and they feel like they know Gerard.
Yeah.
They feel like they know me. I'm on their phones every day.
Right.
So they see that, oh my God, his life was saved like this? I didn't know. All you have to do is check a box. 71 young adults check that box within a week of Gerard getting that kidney.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And we're so happy.
Well, thank you. And you've always been supportive. And God bless me. Now he's going to put me for another 30 years. Poor guy. He's going to hope he didn't get the kidney. You got to know you. You got to know yourself.
Oh, there's a place, he said? Oh, there's a place.
Yeah, right.
So we finish up this episode and all our episodes with a thing called the No Miranda Zone. Are you familiar with the Miranda warnings? You have a right to remain silent.
Yeah.
No Miranda. Tiz going to throw a couple questions at you. You can't remain silent, but I don't think we have that problem with you anyways.
Not at all.
What's your first beverage you reach for when you wake up in the morning?
Hot chocolate.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I don't need coffee. Can you imagine me with coffee?
You got a point there.
Yeah. I don't need no help for all this energy. Hot chocolate. I have to have my hot chocolate every single morning. That's my favorite.
So you're not supposed to be partial, I'm sure. And we got a big Steeler guy here. His favorite football team.
Oh, come on now. Giants and the Bills.
You said that earlier. I take that back.
Gerard was born in the Bronx,
Okay.
y'all. You got it. You got
Is Bronx? That's Giant territory. It's not Jets territory.
Oh yeah, no, it's Giants. They hate the Yankees.
Wow.
They're Mets people. Gerard still wears his Giants jersey. Like, they're passionate.
Yeah.
These New Yorkers, they're passionate about. So once the husband is a Giants fan, then the kids become Giants fans.
Oh yeah,
The wife, like,
that's how it goes.
We ain't got no choice. And then we've been doing it for a while, but we're big Giants fans. But the Bills are right here for us. So our second team is definitely, we have to support the Buffalo Bills, and we're big Buffalo Bills fans too.
With the horrific on the field, almost we're witnessing what we witnessed at the Buffalo Bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, it's a sport. It's what they do for a living. Never. Come on, listen.
Nobody chooses that.
Yeah, and young kids are going to carry guns. We don't accept these as our norms. And blue uniforms, it's part of your job description to get hurt. No, no. we are a community, and the more we can support each other, and the more we can look at each other as human beings, and the more we can. I love what you do, and I'm going to leave it on this. You're intentional about building those bridges, and that takes work, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes resiliency, as we talked about. And so, thank you for what you do.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys very much for having me. Thank you.
Bless. Thank you.